Alright, welcome to the brush demo for 44 new brushes that I made. I'm just going to show you what they look like one at a time so you get a feel for what you'd be buying / getting if you're on Patreon. So this is the most detailed, or like the biggest brush set I've made, I think, and also the most kind of varied. And I'm honestly really happy with these. I think they came out really beautifully. A lot of them are natural media feeling. As like the ones you can see right now are obviously mimicking, textures, canvases, different kind of brushes. But I tried to create patterns as well for them where they have different uses. So like some of the brushes work really well if you draw them small, but also maybe feel really differently if you draw them large, if you use a big brush. So yeah, you're going to get a feel for the different kind of textures from this little video. A lot of them here, I've switched to a color so you can see that they have a lot of color. What is the word? Wow, the word just vanished from my head there. Dynamics, color dynamics. There you go. So like a lot of them, if you're working in one color, it will switch hues a little bit and give you some natural texture. Brushes like the one I just showed there, really have some kind of interesting shape. The shape just changes as you're working, which feels super good for doing character work and such. And this is me kind of getting to the end of the first half of this brush set. So the natural media kind of painty stuff is first. You can see me kind of working my way through it. The second half that we're coming up to now, once I get past this amazing watercolor brush, what the flip? This was kind of an accident, but I really love how it came out. And then this really chaotic one. Really good for building texture, really good for building just kind of like interesting color variety on the palette and on the canvas, and also some that feel like they're made of canvas. But anyway, yeah, the first half are natural media, the second half are kind of more like specific textures that you might use for specific jobs. So kicking it off here with some trees that I made. It's kind of triangular tree brush. Really good for sort of distant trees, but you could also use it as a drawing brush as well. And then grass brush, haven't done a grass brush before. So here's one that I made. And again, we've got some color variety here. So, you can choose one color green and you're going to get a lot of variety. And you're going to see that with all of these here. This crazy branchy leaf brush I made, I genuinely don't know how this happened. Much experimentation, just showing you different ways you can use it here. But it kind of just generates foliage, which is really fun. And here we are, some sort of variations on approaching foliage. Again, kind of trying to keep that natural media painterly style as well, though these aren't sampled from real leaves or anything like that. They're sort of painted textures that I made that I then tweaked. And you get really cool results very quickly using them. Obviously this is sped up. I'm not this fast. That would be weird. But yeah, you can lay down texture really fast with these brushes. These are some sort of rocky kind of ground textures. So many applications for these. You can use them for rocks or cliff faces. You can push and pull them and stretch them to create like whole environments. Here I'm just showing an example of like quickly using that as a base and then painting over it to generate quick environments. And yeah, then we've got some sort of square, sort of city hard surfacey brushes. So if you need to make a city real fast, or you want to work on something that's a bit more geometric, that can work for you. These can work as windows, a different kind of variety of kind of window style brushes. I love stuff like this. It's so good. If you're a concept artist, this stuff's really useful, but it can also just be great for, again, just building kind of interesting texture in your piece. And this is a bunch of lines, but if you set it to a smudge brush like I've done here, you're going to get like a really nice water smudge. I'm showing you that like it doesn't necessarily work with everything, but that brush works awesome. Here we go, like city lights, I haven't seen many people do the city lights thing. I used to have a set that did it a million years ago, but this is like a New York city. Now I was pointing out here that it's not a perfect solution for a massive city. You have to go clean it up a bit, but that's fine. You can do that. Stars. Who doesn't love stars? Again, with like some brush color variety in there and size, just so people don't notice the repeats. And then finally, we got some sort of animal textures. So these are like scales. These are like scales. These are kind of like, these can work as scales. They can work as kind of feathers. Just things to add like interesting depth and interesting texture to your paintings. And then we've got some particles. So these are leaves, again with our color dynamics on, so you get nice color variety when you paint them. And these are kind of particles. You know, they could be used like embers, for example. I think I show here, like if you just slapped on some, you know, some glow, you might get like a nice kind of simple ember effect that you can slap around. And the nice thing about it is, you know, I've set up the angle jitter and stuff that, you know, it's not going to repeat very obviously. So yeah, 44 brush friends. One of them is a skeleton. You get them free if you're on my Patreon, along with all of my other brush sets. There are, I think, about 5 already that you can get basically as soon as you sign up. Or you can buy them at the link below for my Gumroad. So enjoy. Do some drawings with them. I hope you like them.